Good afternoon, I'm Ginger MK, and today is some more sort of prepper themed content. I've joined a group where people are either very advanced, ready to go off grid, have their full, gardens, hunting, trapping, they're out in a sustainable position. And then there's other folks who are in between and they're not really farmers, and that's cool. And then there's folks who, are just trying to start and they can look at everybody else and be really intimidated and go, oh my God, this is freaking expensive. And this is what you gotta do to be prepared for an emergency. And so I want to take some of the stress out of that thought process, and we're just going to start very simply. And I'm not even going to go through an entire list. We're just going to go through an old Army Reserve PDF. It's a 72-hour supply list. And when I say 72 hours, like, this is not, I know this is not preparing for the apocalypse, which is good, because that's the intimidating part. You start small, one step at a time. And I know that, my writing's written backwards right now, and that's fine. I'm not pulling out a whiteboard and showing you stuff. We're just going to go over part of this list, the first two lines, and discuss it before we even talk about everything else. All right? So, first thing they want you to have is a poncho with a hood for rain. All right. Now, I look at a lot of the modern military ones, the current supplier, $40, $45 a poncho. That's pretty rough. But you also don't want the $5 bodega poncho that rips and isn't really a multitasker. So let's go with some old school military kit and consider a Rothko poncho. The PVC reversible, so you got your olive drab outside if that's what you're into, but you also can flip it so that the yellow side is outside and it makes it more visible, which is usually good because you usually want to be seen by rescue workers. It also has grommets on the corners, and that makes it a multitasker. In a pinch, you can make a plow point shelter out of that. So that's really a good thing about this. It's a poncho, and it's also a shelter. Next, emergency survival sleeping bag. Before we jump into that, well, there's, expensive, rated for 10 degrees Fahrenheit, there's rated for -degree Fahrenheit, and all those things are crazy expensive. And then you've got your more affordable options, like this is a combination tent and bivvy from Don't Die in the Woods, but you're wrapping yourself with Mylar. So if you wrap yourself with Mylar and you don't know what you're doing, you don't have adequate airflow, you're going to sweat. And that's a terrible thing in the winter, because suddenly this will turn into an icebox. It'll go from warm to frozen real quick. So, we're not going to worry about that just yet. We're going to operate within our means. You can have a regular sleeping bag, just to start with. And if you get a little bit further along, and we'll get to this, you might skip the sleeping bag entirely. Me, because of the rest of my system, a small throw blanket is fine. This one has been lovingly claimed by my orange cat, but it's still mine. He can suck it. Now, the reason I'm okay with that is because, worst case, I've got my emergency bivvy tent with Mylar, and I know how to appropriately use it. But the next item on the list is body warmers to keep you warm. By that, I'm assuming they mean hand warmers, or boot warmers. These little things, you expose them to the air, they get warm. We use them all the time in construction during the winter. I go through tons of these. You can get them at big box stores in 10 packs. If you really want, you can get a case of them like a contractor. And they're really useful. They stay warm for up to 10 hours, some of them 8 hours, whatever, they're great. And having those in your gloves will help prevent frostbite. Let's see, tube tent and regular blanket or sleeping bag. All right, well, again, we got our tube tent. You can get a pop-up tent, nice and easy to set up. Or if you're more inclined, you can have a tarp shelter. Again, tarps are a much bigger thing. I like them because they're a big multitasker, but you have to learn how to use them. And it's good to prep. So I've already got a cutting tool and some spare cord set up in there in the bag with it. I've got at least a little bit of emergency illumination, and I already have a ridge line with multiple tie-on points set on it, you know, that I can slide. And there's people with YouTube channels that'll teach you how to use it. So we're not getting into that. Got a couple of extra bits of bank line, and I've also got my emergency fire starting kit in there. So for me personally, I'm okay with that, but this is for more handy people. A small single person or two person pop-up tent might be a better option. And along with that, again, Mylar blankets can be a problem, but you can use this inside the wall of your tent, put it up with some duct tape so it's not wrapped around you. Or you can use this as a heat reflector from your campfire to push more heat towards you and your tarp shelter. Okay, Swiss style army knife with can opener. Okay, fair enough. Now, if you're gonna go with the Swiss Army knife, I recommend looking for one that actually has a saw blade on it, so it's a better multitasker. This is the M78 grip Ranger, and it is technically one-hand operational, and the blade locks in place, unlike, you know, your standard Swiss Army knives. So there's that. It is inferior to a Leatherman Wave Plus in the sense that it doesn't have pliers, but it is superior in that it has a larger blade, a bigger saw, and most importantly for me, tweezers for pulling splinters out. And I really love having that. But, you know, so good tool to have. They're both good tools to have. Okay. Now the Leatherman's a little bit more pricey. The Ranger grip, I want to say this is like $70. So yeah, you're gonna have to make some judgment calls. You can instead look at some of the Gerber tools. You can look at, you know, other options. But like I said, middle of the road to higher quality for price. Ranger grip M78 Swiss Army knife or a Leatherman Wave Plus. FM radio with batteries. Okay, don't keep batteries in your car, and don't leave them stored in your radio. Frankly, I recommend having one that has the NOAA weather band on it and is a rechargeable one, but this is an old list. Pen and pad of paper for notes. I like getting Right in the Rain products for stuff that's going to be hard use or outdoors. It won't fall apart in the water and you can still write on it when it's wet. Some pens will write on Right in the Rain, some will not, like gel pens don't work on those. Pencil will always work. You can have a couple of small pencils like this. You know, they won't take up too much space. All right, survival whistle to signal for help. There's a couple of options, it doesn't matter. Just have a loud whistle. Along with that, I recommend having a visual signal like a survival mirror. Survival mirrors are usually they come with a protective plastic cover on it. I left the cover on to prevent this from getting scratched. The cover gets the scratches, and it has a little aiming hole so that you can use this and direct sunlight directly at a person. So that's really useful. And last but not least, for nighttime visual signaling, I'm not going to pull it out because I don't want to freak people out. Have a strobe light. Emergency strobe lights, they're on a wavelength that should not, I say should not, induce problems for people with seizures, but you know, again, I'm just not going to flash one on my YouTube channel. 60 feet of nylon rope. Okay, that can be problematic because, you know, clothesline isn't going to cut it. Stand-in, you can get 550 paracord, type 3 paracord. It's not rope. And it says 550 pounds braking strength. That just means a static load, not a working load. But this is a stand-in you can use. You can also affordably get type 4, which is 750 pound paracord. And, you know, as you have time to buy an actual 50 or 60 foot bit of rope, you know, you do that. But in the meantime, paracord's good enough. Pliers for turning off utilities. I find that weird. I'm an electrician. I'm a big fan of 9-inch linesman pliers, high quality linesmans. But if you're in a position where it's not safe for you to just put your hand on a breaker and turn it off, or a disconnect switch and turn it off, I don't think you should be doing that. I'm an electrician, and if I'm cutting off power with my linesmans, something is seriously wrong, and I'm not going to try to teach you how to safely do that because it's not safe. Duct tape. Can never have enough of that. I like to have, you know, a decent sized roll of the 1-inch. Excuse me, I left it out of reach. And I like having just a flat, maybe 10 feet or so folded over of full-size duct tape. And, you know, we're just going to stop there because this is already a long video. And that in and of itself is kind of expensive. But that gets you a really good start. Because we just covered your shelter, we covered emergency signaling, and we covered cutting tools, and we, you know, covered communication so you get information with your radio. We covered a lot. And we've discussed how you can find some more affordable solutions for some of this. I'll tell you, decent linesman pliers from like Klein Tools, and you know, I'll admit Klein hasn't gotten, well, they haven't gotten better over the years. I'll say that. But you know, $30 for a pair of pliers is a lot for a lot of people, especially when you're used to buying the homeowner special. You know, spending $25 on a poncho when you're used to buying the $5 one from the bodega that, you know, is going to last you 1 or 2 heavy storms at most. Yeah, that seems like a lot. So we're not going to go crazy here. We're not going to try to complete an entire list. Just, I'll leave the link for the Army Reserves list. I'll leave a link for the FEMA list that has not yet been scrubbed, and maybe a link for the American Red Cross list. And you can go ahead and you can start working on it piecemeal, just a little bit at a time. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments, and have a great day.